Hey everybody, I'm Deborah Richmond. I'm showing you the quilt behind me because this is one that I've recently finished. It's one of my own, and this is a pattern that I've had in mind for quite a while that I wanted to do, and it's basically a star made up of other stars. So I really love the blue and white, so I wanted to do something that's blue and white, and I wanted to use stars again because that's one of my favorite quilting motifs. Quilting blocks are the different star blocks. So this star is made up of one large blue star in the middle, and the background is made up of stars in light colors. And what you can't necessarily see till you look really close is that the fabric that makes up the blue star in the middle is also made up of that same star pattern, somewhat hidden because I purposely used values that were all very similar so it would sort of hide that fact. But what I really want to talk about is the quilting that I put on this quilt. This is one that I have finished using machine quilting, something that's kind of new to me, and I just had a blast with it. So I used this quilt as one to really try out some things, try some new patterns, and just play with the quilting itself. What I used on this particular quilt is a particular thread. I wanted to try out the Aurifil thread, which is what I'm holding here. This is 100% cotton thread. I wanted to use a cotton thread for this particular quilt. Everything in it is cotton. Sometimes I use a polyester thread, but this one I wanted to use a cotton. This is a very all-purpose thread because it's cotton. You can use it for the quilting that goes on top. You can also use it for the piecing of the actual quilt top itself. Because it's cotton, it's going to stay very sturdy and durable. It's going to hold those pieces together. This particular Aurifil thread is a silver color, and I wanted to use a silver color. I'm going to show you up a little bit closer, but I wanted to use a silver color because I wanted something that would blend in with the background lighter colors, but would stand out as I used it on the blue itself. And so this really fit the bill for that. It gave a nice color that will work very well on all of the colors in this particular quilt. This is a Aurifil Mako 40, meaning that that's the weight of the thread. This is a nice thin thread so that it's able to very easily slide through my machine. It worked beautifully in my machine. I didn't have any kind of snagging or catching. It's just a nice, strong, sturdy, 100% all-purpose cotton thread from Aurifil. So let me show you a little bit closer some of the things that I've done in the quilt itself. So as we look at the white section, the background of this pattern, you can see, of course, the stars, but what I really want to show you is the quilting that I've done on top. Now, because I've used the silver thread, it's a very gray almost, it blends very well in with this background, so you get the feeling of the quilting without seeing very specifically the quilting until you get really close. Now let me pan over to the blue section of the star. Okay, so now you can see that because I've used that white color, that gray color, silver really, it's starting to show up more in this on this dark background. Now, a couple things I want to show you. I wanted to use a very organic feeling pattern, so this is a pattern that I have been playing with. It's very swirly and it's very organic. It's not real smooth, and some of that's by design. Some of that is because of my quilting skill level. When you learn a new technique in quilting, I'm showing you all my bumps and bruises here. This is not a perfect quilt because this is a new technique for me, and so I know that I'm going to be doing lots and lots of quilting on quilts, and each time it will get better and better. And so this one was one of my first attempts at a larger quilt, quilting it in my machine. It's going to take me a while to get the hang of it, so things aren't as smooth as they will be in some of my future quilts. I'm okay with that because I've quilted long enough to know that anytime you start a new process, you're going to do it for a while and you're going to have a certain skill level as a beginner, and then the more you do, the better you get, and it becomes very easy to just with experience get better at these skills. So I'm okay with that. I've got several quilts planned coming up that I want to do more quilting, machine quilting. I find it really fun to do. But you can see here, things don't have to be absolutely perfect. This is going to be a nice quilt for myself and my family to use I'm not worried about it not being perfect. In fact, frankly, with my quilting, I kind of like it when things are not exactly perfect. I know that that is not the case with some quilters, but for me it is. I like to break rules. I like when things are not exactly perfect, but I also know it's going to get better as I go. So if you're if you're doing some machine quilting and you want to try out the Aurifil thread, I do highly recommend it. It's a very good thread. I found it very easy to use. And I definitely will be getting more of it, and I will have information below on where you can get a hold of some. So just some words of encouragement. Don't be afraid to try some new things. I've tried several different new techniques with this quilt. I tried a pattern I've been thinking of that I wanted to try. I used some colors that I've been really wanting to play with, and I also tried some new things with the quilting, with the machine quilting, and I intend to do a lot more. Don't be afraid to be a beginner. Don't be afraid to try new techniques. Don't be afraid to not be perfect at them at first, because with more time, as with everything in life, the more we do something, the better we're going to get. And so there's nothing to fear here. Go out there and give it a try. Thanks for joining me.
And be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can do so here by clicking the subscribe button. That way you'll find out about new videos as they become available.
I've done the quilting with blah, 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 blah.